Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this webinar. I can call it basically a mid-year 2020 webinar. And let me just show you something. I posted that link about, a few hours, and we've got more or less 30 questions. A lot of people are saying what this gentleman over here is saying. Hello, Clint. Thank you for the great course you put in place. I want to be part of tomorrow's Q&A webinar. So I think this is going to be a two-part webinar, right? Because this webinar is going to go out now, and in the next 2 hours, it's going to be in the course under webinars, and I'm going to call it mid-year webinar part 1, and then everyone's going to see it and they'll be like, oh, we had to actually ask our questions here on the emails, because the last time we tried it, guys, I mean, to be honest, it was crazy. We had hundreds, almost 1,000 people throwing questions in the chat box, and it was a bit crazy. It was a bit much. So I decided, you know what, let me do this way, and let me see how this goes. It's much more controlled. It's much more quiet. There's no background noise. People's mics going on, children crying, all of that. And I want to bring across a message and your guys' questions in clarity. So to answer Jean Optimist, you're probably going to see this. Please post your question after you see this webinar, and I'll make a two-part because it's not bad. 30 questions out of 1,000 students. That I think it's a good thing. I know more probably come after it, and I'll do a second part tonight. I'll wait for all of them to build up, and I'll take it down piece by piece. So let's go to question number 1. Let me do that. Let me just mark that as unread again. Okay. So question number 1, the first question that came in, and I want you guys to, I'm dragging it into view like this so you can see it's legit questions and not questions that I'm making up. So here we go, right? Question number 1. Hi, Clint, I'm assuming our viewers have done the course, but I'm struggling with the MetaTrader 4 app. I'm not wrapping my head around it with the sell and buy that's on a different level that shows on trading video. If you could get it, would be great. What a nice webinar. Okay, price shouldn't be off in a big way between trading view and MT4. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 pips at max. So you say you're not wrapping your head around with the sell and buy. So look on trading view, right? If you line your trading view up and you say, okay, it's time to buy at this level, and MetaTrader 4 is off by 4 or 5 pips, you can either take the buy or the sell at that level, or you could wait for the price to push down that 5 pips and then take the buy or sell. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of what suits you. Like with me, if I'm looking at gold on TradingView, I will take the actual trade on MT4, even though it's slightly off. With NASDAQ, I do exactly the same. Sometimes in NASDAQ, I maybe wait for the price to move to what TradingView was showing, because there's a bigger difference. But to answer your question, you shouldn't be worried about that. Your analysis needs to be on TradingView, and if you like what you see there, and it's showing you it's a buy, then you take the buy, or take the sell. Don't think too much about it, right? Don't stress too much about that at all. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Cool. Next one. Good morning, mentor. Just want to go straight to my problem. I'm struggling with entry points. I can't really figure out when is the right time to enter. Okay, I think that was the most common question, I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to break that down when I get to the charts. But for now, I want to do all the talking questions that I can answer to the camera. So I'm just going to unread this. Let me unread this question. You know what? Let me just keep it here. Okay. Okay. Hey Clint, I'm struggling with trend lines and when to enter correctly. And if it's a buy and sell, like after it touches the third time, is it a buy? And if it's the breaks and the sell, okay. Let me open up my chart quickly. So we got trend lines and entry points. So I'm just gonna make notes here. We got trend lines and entry points. So I need to talk about these things. So we got trend lines. Trend lines and entry points. Entry points. Trend lines and entry points. Cool. This doesn't have to be that big. Sheesh. Cool. Trend lines and entry points. We'll cover that, Ruben. Let me unread you. Hi, I'm currently busy with the US 30 strategy. I set up the specific time periods looking at London, New York. I was looking at buys to the sales and vice versa. What would be the best way to determine price action? Gal, you need to trade what you see, not what you feel. You're saying that sometimes you find yourself looking at buys instead of sells. You need to look at what the market is showing you. So you need to see, is the market showing a sell? Is the market showing a buy? And trade based on that, not what you feel like trading. Not like, I feel like taking buys only, but the market keeps showing me sell opportunities. You need to trade what you see. So the best way to determine price action is by watching the candlestick patterns, Look at overall price. Firstly, and like I always said, number one, are we bullish or bearish? Is the market going bullish? Is the market going bearish? That's like your main factor. Once you know the market structure and you base that on your daily or your weekly time frame, even your H4, if you're a scalper, you're obviously going to go lower, but you need to find market structure first and then start breaking it down. Look for entry points where the market broke, retested, where there's an imbalance of price, meaning like in the US 30 video. So you need to actually just look at what you're actually seeing and trade based on that. Like, I like selling NASDAQ. I don't like buying NASDAQ, but when I see a buy, I push a buy out. And it's same with the signals group. I'll see a buy, I'll set buy limits and we'll buy. Because I need to trade what I see, not what I feel inside, right? So I hope that makes sense. It all comes down to watching price action, looking at what you see, and taking it from there. Carl Fisher. Hope that helps, bro. Okay. Good morning, Clint. So I finished your course. The one thing I keep missing is the lollipop. Not specific lollipop, but the box you draw in your course. You said it works out, but for me it's much less. So obviously my box isn't always right. Easy for one, the candle to be easy balance before time frame. Okay. Thank Albie. Albie, the box is just an added weapon into your toolbox, right? So in your toolbox, you have the Fibonacci, you have the horizontal ray tool, you have trend lines, you have support and resistance lines. You have all of those things, and you have the box. So when I don't see the box, I take off my other tools out. I take my other tools out of the toolbox, and I use that. I draw a trend line, I use a fib, and if I see a box, I draw a box. And then I wait for the break, retest, and I'm in. But if I don't see a box, I don't try and force drawing a box, right? So then I look at other things, and if I use all my tools and I still don't know what way the market's going, I move on to another pair. It's that simple, right? If I don't see what I'm looking for and I've depleted all my tools in my toolbox, I just move to the next pair because I don't want to trade something that is choppy, I can't see a buy, I can't see a sell, and a lot of traders want to force that buy. They want to make believe they see a buy. So to be very truthful with you, if I cannot draw a box, I won't draw a box. And if I can, I draw a box. Whether it's a 50-minute, 30-minute, or 1 hour. And if there's no box to be drawn, draw trend lines. If trend lines don't line up, draw a fib. If fib don't line up, look for a break and retest of a support and resistance on the higher time frames. Stuff like that. So, yeah, the lollipop is a good tool when the box is there, but if the box is not there, you just use the other tools. Cool. Stefan Mare. Hi, thanks for offering the opportunity to ask some questions. So firstly, I tried to do NAS 100 for a while and couldn't really figure it out, like most of us in the beginning. I followed the advice of going to currencies for a while. It's been good. I've been seeing some great results, but I want to start taking 500 Rand accounts to 1,000 Rand per day, basically like you guys do with NAS. I must say, and I must add on, since the credit rules have changed, and we can't go into that minus of our credit, we're going to need a bit more than 500 Rand. I do miss the days where we could flip 500, 2, 5, and 5 grand accounts. But with the credit not being there for us to run into a negative anymore, it's kind of hard. But let me read your question further. Currently, I'm just making like 15 to 13%. Bro. Bro, you're making 15 to 30% a day. Stefan Mare, my brother, you are doing nothing wrong. You are actually doing everything right. You're doing well, bro. 30% a day. Like, please, man, don't let the greed get to you, and don't let what you see on Instagram get to you, because you are fucking killing it. Like, honestly, I'm looking at that, I'm like, 15, 30% a day. Dude, I promise you, Stefan, whatever you are doing, do not stop. Because you are making 600% a month. Like, dude, walk into any trading banking institute and tell them you're a trader making that. They'll tell you, get the fuck out of here. That can't be true. And here you're thinking it's not good enough. Come on, Stefan, pat yourself on the back. You're doing well. Trust me. Don't change anything. Casper. Icon question 1. When you have a resistance line drawn and the market breaks through, okay, it must retest that price level as it becomes the new support. Yeah, usually, or many times in the next kind of week's time, this way goes up. On what time frame will it be best to see where to enter for that type of entry? I must work on my momentum. I go on the 5 minute, 15 minute. My favorite time frame, I won't lie, for sniper is the 5. I tend to stack on the 5 minute, yeah. So, question 1. What time will it be best for sniper? 5 minutes. Even though your trend line could be drawn on the 4 hour, 5 minute sniper entry. What is the difference between buy limit and a buy stop? I'm not using my weekend help if you know more about it. Thanks again for looking made the trailer forever and love it. Though not killing loving time and shit. I know it will come from time with patience. Casper, thank you so much for the kind words. I think I do talk about that in the course. I'm not sure how far you are in the course, but let me answer it anyway. So a buy limit is when you place the buy underneath the current price. So if the price is up here, right? The price is up here. Your buy limit will be placed here because you want it to come down, and this is where you want your buy to trigger for it to go up. A buy stop will be here. Your price will be at the bottom, and it must go up, and then it triggers. Right? That's the difference. Hope that explains it. AJ Water. Hi, Clint. Okay, let me just drink some. I'm drying out. Learned so much. Congrats. But lately I'm struggling with entries. I see a lot of setups and opportunities, but I don't usually take the trade because I'm unsure about how and where to enter. Okay? Because in the past I would get stopped out too early, or the stop loss would be too big. I'm unsure if I should enter on a candle close, if I should set a buy limit. When I wait for a candle close, the trade goes my way. But then it's too late to enter. This is especially when the chart gets to what is. I hope the question makes sense. And it is a bit longer because it's not long at all. AJ, I think you're lacking confidence in your analysis, and that's why you're not taking your trades because of a couple of losses. You must remember, some of us, like, you know, there's students that come in and out of Festex that kill it in the first week. There's some that kill it in the first 3 days. There's some that take a month. Then there's some that take a whole year to see their first bit of profits. Now, you don't know what your time frame is of your success. As long as you're using proper risk and you're analyzing the trade correctly, you might be hitting your 10th loss this week, but you might be that one trade away from like 13, 14, 15 wins, and the risk to reward ratio will make up for those 10 losses in like 4 or 5 trades if you're using the correct risk to reward ratio. So don't be scared to enter, and don't use buy limits and sell stops. Now, trust me, that takes a while to perfect. You got stopped out early in the past. It doesn't mean that your future's gonna carry on like that. AJ, you just have to keep trading, bro. Like, just keep trading, even if you have to drop the lot sizes a bit. But just don't stop trading and going. Don't go demo. Like, stay live, stay in your live account. That's all there is to it, bro. Like, don't feel bad that you're losing a couple of trades. And you know, how long have you been trading, you know? How long have you been a student? All of that. So you need to look at that, and you can't compare your success to others. So hope that answers your question, bro. Russian Reed. Hi, Clan. So I took your course last year, November. Yes, Russian, I remember it was an in-person course. I've been doing everything you teach in the course. I watched those videos over and over and still not profitable. I even attended go away. I even attended the refresher course, but I'm still struggling. When I analyze, my analysis do play out most of the time. Like, I can see where the market is going, but when I take the trades, then it's someone don't go my way. Russian, just like I told the gentleman before you, literally, it's you can't, like, November. Okay, it's June now. Like, I need more info. I need to see more of what type of, are you a high risk trader or using proper risk? It sounds to me, Russian, like you need a confidence boost. So to boost your confidence in the market again, you need to go on a profit sabbatical and go on like a pips journey. What I mean is, like, for the next month, to build your confidence up again. Whatever your account size is, be it the 1,000 Rand, 2,000 Rand, whatever, use a 0.01, the smallest lot size you can possibly use. You can even like your biggest loss you will take, like, for 20, 30 pip stop is like, what is it, 35 Rand? So then it's not a money thing anymore. It's just like a ego bruise type thing, because now your trades are not playing out. You're not really upset over the 35 Rand. Or maybe you are. Maybe that's too much money for you to lose. And for anyone that's listening to this, if you can't trade a 0.01 and not be fearless in the market, to be honest, and I don't think it's a good time to trade right now. I understand there's financial difficulties with a lot of people, but if losing 30 Rand and 20 Rand trades, and Russian, this is not, I'm not talking to you specifically, there's a lot of people that's in your shoes, then maybe you shouldn't be trading right now, because trading is 80% psychology. So if you can afford to lose 20, 30 Rand trading, you can afford to lose 1,000 Rand building up your courage again, then by all means just take all your trades on 0.01, you know. Don't trade 0.1s and 0.2s anymore. Don't chase the bag, but journal every single entry from the 1st of June until the 30th of June. Document your before screenshots, document your after screenshots, take your trades. And Russian, by the end of June, if you do that for me, journal everything, I'm willing to see your journal. You can send all your before and after screenshots, but I doubt you will send it to me, because you're going to be like, Clint, you know what, never mind. I'm starting to catch 500 pips, 400 pips a week again. So I know I'm probably not going to get an email from you, because if you journal everything and you basically rebuild yourself, rebuild your character, rebuild your confidence, you're going to start catching crazy pips, because I'm telling you now, don't go bigger than 0.01. Right, just use that. It's going to change the game for you, Russian. Promise, bro. And if it doesn't, you still mail me on the end of June. But I need you to start journaling. Journal the entries on your chart. Boom, boom, what you see, why you're taking it. It might take a lot of effort to type out all that stuff, but At the end of the day, it's gonna help you, bro. It's gonna help you become better. Cool. Andre Marcus, a blank email. Okay, Andre, I'll probably see you in number 2. Luke. Okay, Luke. Entry points. We have that down over here. Just completed your course. 3 weeks. Need clarity on waiting for Canon to close above a certain level. Understand so H1 and go long or short. Need clarity on why to wait for candle to close above a certain or below a certain level. Candle closures. Okay, let me add that to this. Candle closure. Okay. Rhino. I can hope you well on the Sunday. I've done your course December last year, the last one. Done the online course many times. Please tell me what I'm doing wrong. Sometimes I analyze my analysis play out, but I didn't take the trade, and I can send you before and after pics. Okay, let me stop there. That's psychology. That is a mindset thing of not taking trades that you see. And can you maybe show us how you'll chop up and make a chop from your point of view? And can you maybe look at having a group for beginners to advanced groups so that you know what group to focus on? Rainer, you know what? And I have said this before in live webinars. A lot of people that get into the Festex private chat group, right? Leave the chat group and go on to become successful traders. A lot of the successful ones are not in the private chat group. So I made a chat group thinking I'm gonna help people, and many times I want to remove the whole chat group to Facebook, because I spoke to Q Banks about this last year, and then he said, that's the reason I don't have a WhatsApp or Telegram chat. He has like a Facebook page, because people just won't chat as much as they do in Telegram on WhatsApp. And people tend to get confused. So, right now, if you are in any groups, right, leave it for a month. If you want to be added back, you can mail me, DM me on Instagram. We can add you back into the group. But I want to see you trade without being, you know why? Because you have this perfect analysis marked up, right? But now you go into a group and then someone says, they see this, and then you're like, what did I do wrong on my? And then you don't take your trade. And poof, there goes your trade in your favor. So, leave the groups for now, right? Like, get out the groups, because I'm not lying to you when I say my most successful traders have left the chat group. Yes, there is 1,200 people in the group now, but there's like 300, 400 that have left already. So, yeah, but let me open up some of your screenshots. Left shoulder, right shoulder. How did that play out? Did that play out? What's the timestamp? 14th of May. What's this one? That's the day before. This is the 4 hour. This is also the 4 hour. Oh, this is the day after. Yeah, see. Oh, wow, it played out. I think you are a good trader by looking at your charts. I just think the groups of people that you're chatting to, it's hard. It's not like I want to sound cold, but it's the truth. The groups confuse people more than anything. Like, that's like something I want you guys to try. Like, if you're in a group, and I'm talking about a Festex group, a free signals group, and there's just a lot of chatting everywhere. Like, ask yourself this, guys. Are you focusing more time on your craft and looking at your charts, or you focus more on what people are saying on where NASDAQ is going to next, or where US 30 is going to next, or what gold's going to do next. So much people focus so much energy into groups rather than their own charts, and they blame their failures on themselves, but they're listening to other people. So right now, I encourage you to leave all types of groups. I encourage you to, capital-wise, don't trade indices yet. I know there's a buzz around US 30, there's a buzz around NASDAQ because it pays so well. But remember, if something pays well, it also takes money very, very well as well. So like you're trading Euro JPY over there, that was a cool analysis, and you can trade like Euro USD, AUD USD, GBP USD, like Forex pairs still pay well. So my advice to you is like, your charts don't look overcrowded. It doesn't look too messy. It looks fine. You don't have more than 3 support levels. Honestly, your charts don't look bad at all. So right now, go through the next month or so without any groups. No groups, just you and the charts. You want to take me up on that bet? Do it. Do it. Mail me in a month from now. And just focus on you and your entries. Don't listen to anyone else. Ashwin, I would like to know which pairs are the best to trade. And I still struggle with entries, and I also still struggle to put in amounts when I buy or sell. I also struggle to put in amounts. Okay, stick to 0.01, smallest lot size. Which pairs are the best to trade? I don't know. I like US 30, NASDAQ, and gold now. That's mine. You need to find which pairs you like. And by doing that, you try 4 pairs, right? You analyze that 4. You trade that 4 for a month. You're going to start knocking out the ones that you're least profitable on, and you're going to be left with 2. Then out of that 2, you're going to find you win more here, and you lose more here, and you knock this one out. Then this pair becomes your favorable one. And then you add another 3 to that old list. So 3 new pairs, so you're back to 4. You've killed this one. So now you're trading these 4. You knock out this one. You find you win, win, win. So now you have 3 pairs that you win consistently on. And that's your 3 pairs that you hold tight and you trade for the rest of your trading career. As long as you're trading what you see, right, on those 3 pairs. Cool? Cool. Harold Jansen. I'm confused with the monthly candle. Oh, it's also bonus and the older things were. Monthly is the weekly. Do you do both of them on your chart or choose one? No, I don't do monthly key levels anymore. Harold, if you go on to Festix 2.0, we have a new way of drawing them. Let me just see, do you draw both of them at chart or choose one? Like, even if my support and levels are like this far away from price, I narrow them down to where price is now. So I don't draw a lot. But watch the Festix 2.0, and in Festix 3.0, I'll just also show a simpler way of also drawing support and resistance levels. It's more or less like what you guys know already, but just a faster way. Subay Karim, good morning, Mr. Face. I'd like to know your further change from your first investment. Yes, it looked cleaner. Why was the 8.2 and 7x removed? I just removed them to have a cleaner looking fib, bro. And to be honest, not to sound like I'm bragging, but I can tell, if I can actually have just a 0 and a 100 now, just literally those 2 lines, and I can tell 38.2, 50, 61.8, 78.6 without having anything there. So I just keep them there for video preferences, for video purposes, so people can see the levels. But you'll see, you don't actually, you'll soon start looking at the chart and you're like, I can see that is a 61.8 high. Secondly, how do you know when to set TP on the 27 or the 61? If I take 2 trades, I set my first trade at the 61.8, and the one that I maybe take below that, I set at the 27, so that I can take profit there first. Why did we change the time frame of when we use the fib from H4 to daily? No specific reason. I use the fib on both time frames, daily and H4. They're actually very similar. They're not very far apart. I think it's like 6 candles on the H4 make up a daily candle. So it's like you can kind of look and you count the candles and you can see daily H4. So it's not there's no major reason there. As a beginner, are the currency pairs you recommend you could start with? 100%. AUD USD. Aussie dollar. Best pair to start with. When opening a trade, more or less, how much days must it be kept open? Are you not concerned about swaps? No, I'm not concerned about swaps. I'm concerned about my target for the day. I don't really keep trades running open for more than a day. That's because once I became very strict with myself. I used to be greedy. I used to try and hold trades. Now I make my daily target and I'm out. So if I hit my daily target and I only need to hold for like, let's say 40 pips, I close the trade and I'm done. It can be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it can be 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't trade further. So you need to trade what your goal is. And if it means you need to hold your trade open for 2-3 days, especially if it's a slow pair, so be it, because that's how I used to trade back in the day. When I couldn't trade big lot sizes and I had to let 0.12s ride out for like 3-4 days. And the swaps wasn't anything much because the lot size was so small. So don't be concerned with swaps. Unless you're trading 10-20 lots on NASDAQ, then be concerned, because those swaps will kill you. Do you recommend having to trade accounts for beginner? I actually recommend you have 3 trading accounts, but you build it from one. I explained it in the last webinar, I think, where you have your initial deposit. You can have like a low risk, medium risk, high risk, but those 3 accounts need to come from one deposit, and you need to split the profits out. If you want only 2, do the exact same thing, but just put your profit into a separate one. Thanks in advance. Thank you, Subair. Okay. Good morning, I've done your course and been trading about 2 months on my own. Made good money and lost good money. I'm struggling with how to be patient and stay in the trade when it goes into drawdown, for how to choose correct lot size. I'm scared to make it big, so I play it safe, but then risking a 5k account to make 2k. You see, Ray, you need to have a daily target in place. Like, is your daily target 2k? If that's your daily target of your 5k account, you're gonna blow a couple of 5k's account, definitely. Because you're obviously using a low amount of capital to make, what's that, 40%? Yeah, you're making 40% a day like the other guy. What was his name? He's making 15-30% a day. And he's not happy. I would say, I mean, if you're making that kind of money on a 2k, maybe build the 5k up to a 10k. You know why you're struggling with drawdown is because your lot sizes are too big. If you have a 0.01, or if you have a good risk to reward ratio, then you won't be stressed. Like a 1-5, 1-8, 1-10, that's perfectly good risk to reward ratio. It's sad. I see a lot of traders, not just students, but nobody's using stop losses these days. Like looking on the Trade Nexus MT4 Manager backend, there's just people holding trades with major drawdown. I honestly, out of like 6,000 clients, to be honest, I'm not even 10 people use a stop loss. So yeah, it's one of the key things to use when trading, but nobody uses them. So yeah, if you suffer from drawdown, then I would say use the correct lot size and put stop losses in place, because nothing hurts more than seeing minus 4,800 on a 5k account. It's like your whole world wants to just blow up. So that could have been a 500 Rand or 1,000 Rand loss if you're risking that much of your account. But at the end of the day, stick to your lot sizes, bro. Don't go too big, because if you're starting with drawdown, it means you're going too big. You're scared. So yeah, just maybe adjust the risk there, right? Adjust the risk. As a bro, what's your view on trading 2 times? An example, trading the H1 markets like ended on the M15, or trading the H4 ended on the H1. I know that ending. I'm starting to do so. Dylan, there's no problem in doing that. The most important thing is identifying are you in a bullish or bearish market by using the daily, right? The daily will show you exactly what market, what time frame you're in. Yeah, so you need to just use the proper time frame to find structure. Once you have structure, you can enter on the 1 minute even if you want. But use your H4 then. Stick to your H4 and enter on 15 if you want. But for example, it's Sunday today, so you need to check what last week's candle closed at, got into the daily. Are we bullish? Are we bearish? I know I sound like a stuck record, but it's that simple, guys. Like, what are we in? Are we in a bullish or bearish market? And if you're in a bearish market, you're looking for sells on a lower high. And if you're in a bullish market, you're looking for buys on a higher low. Be it a 1 minute, 5 minute, whatever time frame. That's the main rule. Cool. Away Clint, away Tyler. I simply can't get my boxes for NAS right. I've been practicing and back to anything. I just can't see anything. I sometimes you want to break the region. Okay. I answered this earlier, so you probably heard it already. So that gives you an answer. Marshall, can I please join your webinar? 50 student current. Okay, I spoke about this Marshall in the beginning, so I'll see you on webinar 2. Hope you're great. I'm so excited. Tomorrow's my birthday. It's going to be good. So my question, happy birthday for tomorrow, Diban. Is it better to stick with only one mentor or even just one strategy? You can have as much mentors as you like, but stick with one strategy. The one that works for you. Or is it better for me to do as many courses as possible and broaden my knowledge as far as possible? I feel like I might overcomplicate things and never go into the thing again. I was to make sure I have enough knowledge. Thanks, Clint. Look, I did FX Varsity's course in TableView, and that was like baby pub stuff. And then I did AstroForex's course, the online and the in-person course, and then I did QBanks' course because I still wasn't getting like crazy entries with Astro because they teach the int on the H4. Then I use Q, so I use the FIB, combine that with what I learned from Baby Pubs, Astro, FX Varsity, put my own time in, and I formulated Festix. So to be honest, I just don't think there's a better way to trade. Like, there's no better way to trade. Some people have like harmonic patterns and all that stuff, but I don't know. If you want to go explore, I'm not holding you back, bro. Because what's gonna, if you have the money to take other courses, then so be it. Like, you have to explore. I did it when I was trading. I just didn't have anyone to ask the advice. So I just followed them because I looked up to them and I did their courses, and here we are today. Shahid, good day, Grant. I show I am going to bless Sunday. I have completed the main course over and over and over. Okay, you've done it over and over again. However, the things I struggle with are supply and demand zones are support and resistance. Okay, I don't use supply and demand zones. They just basically, supply and demand is resistance and support. And people just gave it another name. I don't know why. Right? That's how I trade. I don't trade demand zones. Like, when I look at a support level, I don't trade like if I see a double top, I'm like, you're not going to just stop there and turn around. You're going to go a bit higher. You want to take out everyone's sell orders, hit their stops, deplete the equity, then you want to go on with a move. And that's something that I've been noticing in the market, is that support and resistance on lower time frames get smashed, but on the higher time frames they're really solid. But I don't call them supply and demand zones. Break and retest in the Facetex 2.0 could not fully grasp this. I'm going to cover break and retest again. Let me add it in here. Ugh. Okay, we'll go over that again. Confidence in executing it because I'm afraid of drawdown and time my direct stop out. That's one execution all drawdown. Cool. Drawdown is always going to be part of the game, but if you're using a 2-lot, 3-lot, drawdown looks fucking scary. And if you're using a 0.3, you're like, oh, what's this? Is this even drawdown? So Shahid, I'll go over that. I can over this something or something that I've had. If I only have access to 1,000 in the month trade, what's the best way to go? What's the balance between going in the account and protecting my capital? Trade the slowest moving pair with that amount of equity. So AUD USD. Number 2, answering question 1 and 2. You've recommended like AUD, but I've also seen a comment check what UJ and GJ with 1,000 rand will be like gone. Or they pay us which are better to grow my capital in a shorter time. You see, Robin, what you need to do is look at 1,000 rand and look at any investment company. If you put 1,000 rand with them and you don't look at 1,000 rand a year from now, you might have 1,200 rand. Your capital might grow by 200 rand in a year. If you make 100 to 200 rand a day with your 1,000 rand, you're doing fucking well. Like, you're doing super good. Even if it's a 50 rand you make a day. You need to see the long-term picture of your money growth. Right? It's like someone with 10,000 rand making 500 rand a day. Someone with 100,000 rand making 5,000 rand a day. Someone with 1,000,000 rand making 50,000 rand a day. They're doing exactly what you're doing, just that they can make more money because they have bigger equity. Someone with 1,000 rand can't make 50,000 rand a day. It's impossible. Maybe it's not impossible, but it's hard. You've mentioned the post-course mindset beginner should look to make trade 40 pips, the stop loss 15 pips. There's a $4 trade over 25. How can I improve on this to grow my account better? Probably faster moving piece, but again, like, are you in a race to grow your 1,000 to 5,000 rand? Because you only have that much money to trade with. So any growth is good. Like if your 1,000 rand is 500 rand more by the end of the month, you've grown your account by 50%. No bank can do that for you. No one can do that for you. So as long as you're doing way and above what banks and Investec and all these big companies can offer you, you're doing well, my friend. Don't stress about it at all. What should I actually be doing when I back this? Especially if I'm only using one pair. What should I spend my time on the charts doing? Backtesting is basically what you do on your charts every day on the live chart. So you drawing a trend line, a FIB, and trying to figure out where price is going this week. You do the exact same thing a year ago. You do the exact same thing 3 years from now. You do the exact same thing 10 years from now. Like you focus and you look, okay, cool. This is the piece of chart I'm looking at. I see market went up over here. Or market went down. Why did it do that? Why did that happen? Now you start drawing out your levels. Boom, boom, boom. Going into different time frames. Looking at it like, oh, that's why. Cool. That's why this and that happened. So it's going back into the past and following price action and being true to yourself and not being like, oh, market fell down there. It was just this, and this. Maybe done back testing. Like, you need to actually look at what the market does. And when you find a certain pattern, you take it, you write it in your journal, you write down. GBP JPY loves to break a support level after it's been touched 4 or 5 times in the H4, retesting it, forms a hangman, and then it drops. Now you write that down. That happened on the 21st of May 2017, then it happened the 30th of May 2017, then it happened. Like, you need to, like, study the pair. Like, it's your girlfriend or your husband or whatever. You need to like know what that pair does before it even does. And the way you do that is by going into the past and looking at what it actually did back when the pair first started and following it. That's basically all there is to backtesting, right? I think I answered everything. Don't be upset that you're not growing your 1,000 to 5,000 Rand every month. It's flukes. If you're consistently growing it by 500 Rand, you're doing 600% a year. You can tell any grown adult that and they'll be like, not true. There's no way you did that, Robin. There's no way you grew your money by 600% for the last year. No one would believe you, to be honest. Only us traders would. Vuyiswa. Candlesticks and Fibonacci. Candle closures, Fibonacci we're going to go over as well. I'm struggling with that. Throwing the Fib, cool. We'll go over that. Throwing Fib. I can starting to know which time to enter, keeping my mind. I lost loads already. I only have a 2-1 if I feel I need to also believe saying sniper entries. We'll go over entries. Okay. Okay, America de Silva. We'll show you how to place the fibs in the charts. We got fibs there, right? Throwing fib. A clean market structure is all possible ways in which broken structure and how not to overcomplicate things. EMA confirmation. Is it 8 and 8 EMAs? Okay, guys, take your EMAs off. I do not use EMAs anymore. You can, like, EMAs are helpful to some, but I confidently tell you, lose EMAs. With backtesting, is it best to do monthly to weekly to daily and H4, or do I add H1 in there as well? And once I've done back, do I redo it on the M30? Smaller time frame. So backtest, I explained a bit in detail on the previous question. Which pairs to begin with and how many would you concentrate with at the beginning? I explained that also. The video, the part where I'm holding up my fingers. False breakouts. Remember, Nasdaq is being thrown around now with the pandemic. So there's a lot of false stuff happening across indices, right? I trade that in the box, but at the bottom was at the top. So I'll cover that as well. Festex booklet, please. The Festex booklet is basically your online that PDF. Just a lot of people like to take notes in there. I think I still have some of them. They're 500 Rand a booklet. If you really want, you can let me know. Is my ascending trend line correct, or should it be? Okay, let me look at Christian's ascending trend line here. You mean descending, bro? Is my ascending trend line correct, or should it be a higher low up? $240. Yeah, you skipped 0.2. You skipped the second one over here, aren't you? So you could have made it like that point. That's your 0.1. That's your 0.2 further up. And I think if you drew it like that, you would actually have had a break and retest here. So it would have been 1 touch, 2 touch. This should have been the break. And this here, the trend line should have connected on this trend line here. If you slightly move that up to the wick or the body of that candle. Cool. Christian. Good day. Struggling with the new US30 strategy. Could you show us more examples of strategy if possible? Could this webinar be uploaded to the online course? Yusuf, I will. Roland. Okay. I'll see you in part 2. Highland, do you trade stocks? If you do, what is the best broker for stocks? Well, MT4, I trade indices, I don't trade stocks. You can trade stocks with JP Markets and TradeNexus though. I think my question would be around entry execution. Cool. I'd like to step by step and entry execution NEP. Doesn't have to be live, go back in time. But what would really be great is if you could play out different scenario type execution. For example, one, you got stopped out and re-entered at a specific price. What specific candle confirmation you would wait for before entering what time frame. Analysis didn't play and how you would reanalyze. If my analysis doesn't play out, I reanalyze and I see, okay, there was nothing I did wrong, and I leave it at that. Like, I'm happy, or either I reanalyze and I see, shit, I didn't do this or do that. Then I'm like, oh, it was my fault. So that's why I reanalyze. Candle confirmation. Lately, I don't even wait for candle confirmation. I just wait for a certain price to get hit. Right? Because I trade fast moving pairs like gold, NAS, and US30. You get stopped out and re-enter at a specific price action. If I get stopped out and I re-enter, it's just based out of anger. I'm like, why did I use my stop stack entries again? But entry execution, yeah, we got that entry point. So we'll cover that as well. Darren Roman. Files of Ajax, icons, I'll be starting understanding the verb and special direction which you use. I know you said for the starting officially after Ramadan. Just to work mark out each startup capital at the moment. Startup can be anything you can afford to lose. Fibonacci, we're covering that. Guys, sorry the webinar is almost an hour long, but I'm actually enjoying answering the questions. I'm struggling with applying the festival of trading. For instance, I would like to find weekly and daily levels on order that for trade to reach money and then execute it for it. Okay, you can't just execute based on a weekly or daily level beneath. Right? There needs to be more confluences. Question is, how do you bounce back after weeks of now falling feeling that arm is almost okay, good. So if you're trading off weekly and daily key levels and you're losing, right, then you need to blame yourself for not having more reason. Remember, my course is not just weekly and daily key level videos. There's a lot of things, and I talk about, there's a video putting it all together. So if you can show me a full-blown analysis of, Clint, I saw the weekly key level being hit, it lined up and it made a lower high after breaking structure on the H4, making a lower low. My trend line was in place. I saw a shooting star candle. It came off the 61.8 fib. Then I'm happy with you. But if you're just taking trades based off the levels that it gets hit and you're trying to trade and it's your stop loss, then you need to go a bit deeper. So I would advise you to do the full execution. Don't rush it. There's no race. Draw up everything that you see and then take the trade. That's my honest advice. You need to have more confluence before you take it. You can't just base it off weekly and daily levels, which I don't even use anymore. So it tells me that you haven't even got into Festex 2.0. It's like you stopped halfway in the course and you rush to MT4 and you're trying to trade already. So I'd say finish the course first. The market is going nowhere, and then come back and do it properly. I wanted to ask about how to find better entries when you take a trade. If you honestly need rejection candlestick, okay. We're answering this question. Me also. I think in the signals group, I sent the GA trade. Perfect analysis. Perfect. It melted. But it wicked up. 100 liquidity very high up. Almost 70 pips up. And no one's stop loss is that big. And they know that retail traders don't trade with such big stop losses. So yeah. Mufundo, you did nothing wrong with that trade. GA caught me also, bro. So we're going to go over entries. I see you talk about that. Analyze every Sunday, every day, every minute that you spare. Look at the price. Okay, we going. This question was asked about analyzing, mindset, reanalyzing. Yumika. I wanted to ask about how to find better interest in tech trade if you are. No, sorry, I read this question. Will you ask the same question twice? Okay, I see your email here twice. Ryan, see you in part 2. Okay, part 2, Optimus. Regarding what I'm struggling with in training as far as information doesn't want to stick. I know how you feel. I couldn't learn in school because it never stuck. I've been over the course a million times, putting so much, I was still going, but it doesn't want to stick. Cool? Keep doubting my analysis because I'm not saying my inner thing, but I keep losing blowing accounts. I can afford up to 12k in 2 months. And that's it. I know you have to lose in order to win. I don't have fun for this courage when I trade. Accounts. Nicole Henry. Okay. What I need you to do is start journaling, right? Because I know when I get a lot of these emails, and when I ask students, do you have a journal? And then, what is that? I'm like, okay, a journal is basically a before snapshot. It's basically what I do like in the private channel. It's a before snapshot of a trade with list of reason of what I see and why I think the trade's going to go this way or that way. And then it's after trade. And then I would have a reason as to, why it went my way. And if it didn't go my way, I'm not upset because I saw 5 reasons why it wasn't going to go my way. But if it goes the other way, it's a loss. I count it as a loss. But I need to see your before screenshots, Nicole. I need to build up some sort of journal for me because it's going to be hard for you to show me your last 2 months analysis. I'm sure you didn't keep it. Well, I'm assuming you don't have before screenshots in a folder. On my other PC that I gave to Cairo, I had tons. I had a Euro JPY folder. I used to have a gold folder. I had a folder for every pair, and it was named before, and then I had an after folder, and in between I used to add notes. And I would honestly say that was like my breaking point as a trader and becoming so much better because it was like I was reading a storybook of all my mistakes that I was making. So journal. If you haven't been journaling, start right now. Open up a journal, go buy an A4 hardcover book, get a black pen, get a red pen, get a blue pen, and start writing, guys. Like there's nothing that's going to go wrong if you start journaling. Nothing at all. I promise you. Okay? Okay, Weber. Firstly, thank you so much for the course, the discount for all the numbers provided. Definitely helps many of us. Thank you, bro. Not just in Forex, but our daily lives. I appreciate it. But finish your course, I'm going to team to my stop loss is hit. Then obviously I'm out of the trade, but then after that happens, the trade is the next I thought it would. So my question basically is, how do I know exactly when to enter what's happening? Thanks again. Okay, cool, Keenan. When you enter, right, and your stop loss is hit, you need to look at, okay, how much pips up was my stop loss? 30 pips. So now your stop loss gets hit on that trade. So now I go to the next trade. And you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to sell here. But wait, the last time this happened, the market moved up 30 pips and took me out. Let me enter 30 pips above this price. And then you wait for it. Boom, you get that sniper entry. Taps your entry and it goes your way. Or taps your entry, goes slightly higher by 10 pips, but your stop loss is 25 pips, and then it goes your way. And that's how you know you've mastered your entries. It's just lifting, because let's just say you take a trade every day, and every day your trade gets hit and you got a 30 pip stop loss. Like, why aren't you taking your entry 20 to 30 pips higher if your stop loss keeps getting hit at this level? Why not make your entries that level? Do you know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. I think a lot of you know what I'm saying. So just do that. Just, shit, I lost. Okay, cool. I'm going to get you next time, Mr. Market Maker. And put your entry higher. And that's how I've gotten some crazy entries with my signals group. How do you know the market was going to just come there and then boom, it goes our way? And it's because I've made so much losses with trades taking me out when it wasn't supposed to be taking me out, but it just went a bit further than what I expected. So all I do is I'm like, you took me out at that level. So guess what? My entry will now come down or go up slightly, and I'm going to catch you out. That's my thinking. So Keenan, I hope that helps you, bro. Derek. The best strategy is to use to enter and exit a trade. There's many strategies, different ways to enter and exit. The best way to hold profits overnight, it comes down to your lot size. I will never be able to sleep if I've got 4 lots open on Nasdaq. I make sure I close those trades before I go to bed. But let me have a 0.5, I sleep like a baby. So for you to get a good night's rest, you need to make sure your risk is in place. There's no best strategy to use your enter exit trade. It's like what you're basing your entry on. There's many ways to skin a cat. Like you can enter on a break and retest of support resistance. You could enter on a morning star coming off the 61.8. You could enter on last week's or last month's low, last month's high, low month's close. There was a shooting star off that level. Like, there's no best way. There's many ways to hit the trade, bro. Okay. Why did I leave these ones open? I'm struggling with trying to enter correctly. Like after that's Thursday, the buybacks, then is to sell. Okay, Ruben, yeah, trend lines, we have that there. Okay. Cool. So it's an hour now. We took an hour to answer all the questions, so that'll be it for the questions. Now I'm going to go into the charts. And if more questions happen to pop in the next, let's say, 6 hours or so. Yeah. Then I'll make another video. But for now, I'm glad. Cool. Do it now. What pair do we look at for trend lines? Let's go with Euro USD. Yo, I sent you guys this trade. Check there, we almost got our TP to the pip. So close. Didn't get that pullback I was expecting when we got that high. Like if you look at Euro USD, where's my box? Here we go. Okay, and we draw a box. Euro USD breaks out of this box and is going that way, be it up or down. So what's price action on Euro USD right now? It's sideways. Sideways, 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 right? If we take... Yo, where did I write the things down now? Was it on gold? Or was it on S? Okay, make sure it's there. Okay, make sure that's there. We go back to Euro USD. So this is what we call consolidation. So you will write here, right? I'm just shy. Price going sideways. Consolidation on daily. Cool. Trend line, you can take from your high point over here to your low point like that. Make it the proper. Where's my little tool to enter my... Anyway. Okay. So, your trend line's in place, right? But because either you saw my analysis up in the trading room, or you drew your box around your candles like this, you can see that we needed price to actually come out a little higher, break out of the box, and then what? A retest of the box or the trend line, and then we could go long, right? But what happened was price came up, came back into the box. So drawing your trend line, if you didn't have your box, you would have seen this break. You would have seen the retest, and you would have thought, okay, do I go long now? Go to the lower time frames like the 1 hour, and you would have seen like this push down here, and you would have either done one or two things. You would have drawn your box again. Be like, okay, let me draw my box. Let me see where price is. Let's see. Okay, consolidation, right? No price action here to go long. Huge bearish candle. No price action. No morning star, no hammer, just price in range and then breaking out. So there was no reason to go long based on two things. Price is consolidated on the daily time frame like this, right? And we didn't get any price action on the trend line. So just here, trend lines and entry points. See, so covering trend lines and entry points basically in the same breath over here. So on the daily we can see, okay, cool, price is consolidating. So Euro USD I wouldn't touch now. Like I knew it was going to go up here. Thought we would first get that stop one down then up. But as you can see at the beginning of this video, it missed our target by like probably 5-10 pips. So now it's done. Now it's consolidating sideways. There's so much. Let me add. Where's my? There's my horizontal line. See, we got. See that? And if you draw the box on top of that, why would you want to trade a P? That's just range, right? Now some people will be like, okay, let me sell it down till here. But maybe it doesn't. Maybe it goes from this level, wants to go up. See, that's not a shooting star, that's a spinning top. It's in consolidation. If I don't like what I see and I can't make up a story as to why I want to buy or sell, I just leave it, right? Let me just see again. Entry points, candle closures, break and retest. Okay, let me go. Another big inside. Let me just go back in time. Okay, this is the daily, but like you can still see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever I see 3 or more levels of support or resistance, I draw my box. Right? Now look here. Traded in this box from the 5th of August till the 5th of September. Just sideways for like a whole month. Candle gap down, but closed inside the box again. Broke out, retested with the spinning top, came up, filled this candle here. Here, this was an imbalance in price. So it came up, fulfilled the price over here. Because remember, before this move happened, there was just sellers and sellers. Buyers never got a chance to come in at this price. So price goes back to where, like, kind of makes it up, comes back down, retests again on this box, and basically takes off. Right? Again, let me just make sure. I'm going to go into lower time frames. Break in retest. Candle closures. Drawing the fib. Let me get the drawing the fib out the way. When you draw your fib, right? This is a swing low. That's a swing high, right? This level over here, is that a higher low at the time in price? Let's replay this, right? So I'm taking my fib, taking it from the low to the high. Let me just change this. Okay, so let me play it out. Okay, dit is 38.2. Tap to 61.8. Tapped it again, and up she went. Not being able to break into our take profit. Oh well, almost there. Now this is backtesting, guys. Going back and looking at swing highs, swing lows. That's why I don't have this at the 8.2 on my, or I put it on for reference, but I like this level. 61.8, 78.6. That's my price. So now, A to B to C. Did D ever get hit? Let's play it through. Price comes down. You can see over here. What you immediately do is you box this up. Breakout. So, is this where we went up or not? Almost hit that TP again. You can say it's basically it. Maybe I should have just, if my stop loss is on the body, I mean my A point back inside. But it made, from a lower high, it made a new high. So these was the old highs, is a new high. So now it goes down. So now what you want to do is, you want to delete your fib. Now you want to place your fib from here to there. Right? Make it perfect. Here we go. Here we go. So now what happens? Basically almost tapped at 61.8. There it comes back. Oh, there we go. The TP1 and basically TP2 almost. So what happened? A, B, C came off the top of the box again. Don't be too hard on yourself when you look at 61.8, especially if you're watching it live. You look at that zone. People call it supply or demand zones. That's just a level of retracement, right? What we use the fib for is just it's to find hidden levels of support or resistance. So now A, B, C, D. So now you take your fib. So it now from C now becomes A. That now becomes your B. And now you wait for price. See? Again, A, B, C. Coming almost off the 61%. Hitting TP1. Let's see what went to TP2. Here we go, TP2. Now guys, this is not difficult. You know what is the difficult part? Is that it's a daily time frame. And you need to be patient because the fib is powerful on the daily. So now A, B, C it's done. D target, like if you look at short position tool, I mean from here, you're looking at what? Let me try and find. Getting it up here. Tight stop of that ID. We got like 40 pips for 200 pips. When candles started coming up here, right? Let me actually rewind. So the daily candle closed there, right? Shit. How do I go back? Okay. What you would do is, I'm going to pump the time frame straight down to the 30-minute on that box. Shit, I don't know which box it is. Let me delete this one. Straight to the 30-minute. So now you know you want to enter somewhere up here, right? This is where you want the entry. Because now you're like, okay, price is up here. So now you know price is here. So you could take an entry based on the evening star, right? Evening star entry you enter, that means your sell would be here. So if you enter a short position tool right there, your stop could be just above it. So look at that. A 7 pip stop loss. So if you go back to the daily, look how this tool is going to look now. I can't even find it. Look at it. Look at that. So now you get your entry. Let me see if I can open it. So now you have a whopping 1 to 17 risk reward ratio. A whopping 1 to 17. You risk like 7 pips. I don't know why I chose 12. 7 pips to catch 200 pips. I mean, yes, some of you could even use for a trade setup like that. You could use probably 0.5. Okay, so let me go back to the 30-minute. And on top of it, check this out. Consolidation, breakout, retest, second entry, no drawdown, price falls. But you would enter here based on, now you're typing out your reasons. A to B for placed, C is coming near the 61.8. I see a evening star pattern on the 30-minute time frame. I'm taking my first entry now at 12 o'clock at night. I see a second entry opportunity at 10 o'clock on the 3rd of Feb. Why? Because price broke out at the 30-minute consolidation. It then retested that level, and that's my second entry. So you're taking either these on a piece of paper or you take it mentally, but I would really type it on your chart and then go into the trade. And this is on Euro USD a pair. I honestly don't trade. Don't really look at much. But I mean, if you look at it, we were analyzing this pair somewhere before this, like all this movement's down. So now C becomes your new A. Put it like this. And now you're going to have to follow this low point because you don't know how low it's going to go. Okay, it's going lower. So there needs to be some sort of, remember point B needs to always be some sort of support. Up, still not. So now all you're doing is you're following it. Pair is melting. It needs to come up. It needs to retrace. Okay. 3 days on that support. Are you going to tank further? Hey, there's the pullback. Oh, there's the pullback. Oh, there's the pullback. Hits the 38.2. Boom! Huge bullish candle. Comes right through into your 61.8. Almost at your 78.6. Hits the 78.6. Makes a new high. Right? In this area over here. Was there any sign to go short? Now let's see. Let's go to the 30 minutes just like we did with the other one. Yep, over there again, Evening Star. Price moved from 110.443. Moved down almost 100 pips, 80 pips, but then came back and made a new high. So yeah, on the daily it looks crazy scary, but you could have still banked an 80 pip move, or if you didn't bank, you would have moved your stop loss 20 pips in front once it broke. But this was your entry opportunity up here. And again, another one up here, tweezer tops on the 30-minute. And especially looking, you see the orange line? That means that it's at the 78.6. This entry over here at the 61.8 was a shooting star of the 61.8. If you took that entry, you would have fell about 20 pips. And you would have probably moved your stop loss, depending. Some people move their stop loss to break even between 20 and 50 pips. You would have moved the stop loss down, and then it would have taken you out. You know, break even, okay, cool, stop loss, that's it. There's your second opportunity. Moves down, maybe you don't close, you move your gain, you move your stop loss back, poof, takes you out. So that's a trading game. It's all about having reasons why to get into the trade and all of that. So there you guys see it on Euro USD. This is what we call backtesting, guys. What? Candle closes, entry points, candle closes. So candle closes are important. Like you wait for that 30-minute candle to close to form that evening star, right? And that becomes your entry point. Break and retest that you do on either your box or you wait for support and resistance levels to do break and retest, right? Drawing fibs should be drawn from your swing low to your swing high, like I drew it, or from your swing high to your swing low, waiting for the lower high to form. So when drawing your fib, I'll do another example. Let me go into UJ. So up here, right? All these wicks are, what we do on the 4 hour. So this is your swing low, that's your swing high. Okay? So what you do is this. You draw it from your swing low to your swing high. You can draw it from wick to wick or body to body. So like that. You can see here, you can place it on the wick. And you can see that we had a pullback to the 50% level. Right? More or less 50%, almost 61.8. Now, if you zoom in on the 4 hour, and you draw a little horizontal right tool here, and why I say here is because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejection levels, right? So I draw that. So now when price is floating down here, I'm looking for entry. Why? Because just like over here, it broke, retested and took off. Now it came down again, right? Why? Because it wants to move some sort of, it wants to collect buyers over here because of this big bullish candle, this breakout candle. It wants to come back to retest it. So what do? You go on to the smaller time frame. So from the 4 hour, boom, straight to the 30-minute. So now I go back, check the 30-minute out, scope it out, what's going on here with the 30-minute. Now you look, check it out. Now you want to focus on this here. So you go, okay, cool. Price looks choppy down here. Maybe like grab your trend line tool. Like, okay, let me draw it from that swing high. Connect it like that onto that trend line. See, 1, 2. Price is trading under. You maybe draw your box like this. You're like, okay, cool. Let's box this up here. Because this was support, now it's resistance. And then you draw your trend line like, okay, cool. Broke the descending trend line on the 30-minute. Came down, retested the trend line, and it retested my box. Because over here you weren't happy with the spinning tops. Like you could have traded there, but you want to see, you want to have more confluence. So throw your box out, and maybe your box is even like this, right? If your box was like this is actually better because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it was touched as a level of support, right? This green candle then broke out, but we had the bearish candle close back in. So that's not a break in retest, because why? Broke out, broke back in, and we're on the 30-minute. Price then broke out, gone. Now over here, you're like, shit, the trade's gone. It's not coming back. Now you draw the trend line, you draw the box, you see, okay, if she comes back, I'm taking a year. Why? Because before I went in the 30-minute, I was in the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, I drew this blue line. Why did I draw that blue line? Because it was a level of concern for me. Price was rejecting off this level. It retested this level once, went up, and now it's trading back in that level. So for me to take an entry on the 30-minute based off a break of the box and a break in retest of my descending trend line, I'm more than happy to go short. Go long on this trade right here. Right? I would be more than happy to get in there. And I'd base my target on the 4-hour. Look at a level of, okay, cool. Where are we going to next? And you can see, almost came to my 27 extension. Why would I have taken profit earlier? Because remember, like I always teach you guys, look left. And if you look left, there's so much reason to get out of your trade over there. Like, there's more probability that your trade will stop here than go to this first TP. So even though your 27 and 61 is set for TPs, you still need to look left, guys. And that will help you in the long run. So you see how I jump straight from the daily 4 hours straight to the 30-minute, because I know my direction of the trade. I know where it's going. I just want to get in on a lower time frame. And there I just showed you guys another example on UJ. And when did this happen? 14th of May. I wasn't watching UJ, but it's so simple. We need to just draw our key levels out, draw the fib, go to the lower time frames. Don't forget the basics, count the wicks, how much time, so that's a level of support. Draw a trend line, draw a counter trend line, draw a descending trend line, whatever you have to do. Like, you scratch in the toolbox and you look for what you can use and you take the trade based on that, guys. So I really hope this webinar was helpful to a lot of you. There is one new question, but I see it's Derek and he already mailed this. So once this goes live on the website, I'm sure there shouldn't be much questions afterwards. And if there is, I'm going to make a part 2 and then get it answered. So I really enjoy doing this for you guys. I really think it's going to minimize as the weeks go by. There's a point where the emails will be like 1 to 5 emails maybe on a Sunday. But then again, it all depends on the new students that came in the last 2 months. You know, they might have the same questions as you guys. So I might have to answer the same questions again. And if it's similar questions, I can say, you know what? I answered a lot of these questions on the webinar. Please go watch this webinar. So webinars are back. And I hope I'm providing value for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your Sunday afternoon. And I'll catch you on the next webinar. Peace out.